It really is a big issue in our country where NGOs now want government to provide actual details on how it plans to reduce the harm caused by alcohol. While delivering the ANC January 8 statement, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa acknowledged that young people are abusing alcohol in our country. However, the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance in SA says there's no actual indication as to how it's going to be done, despite some recent tragic incidents. I remind you, of course, last year, 21 young people dying at the NGO Tavern in the Eastern Cape, and more recently on Christmas Day, 2 underage females died at a tavern in Hofmeyer. So let's hear then from the communications manager, Terri-Liza Fortein, joining us this morning. Terri-Liza, good morning. Appreciate your time. What details are you hoping for exactly? Give me some practical details that you'd like to hear.
So we would like government to, first of all, start enforcing the existing laws that are there. We know that the legal drinking age in South Africa is 18, and as you've just mentioned, in 2022, we saw 23 young children dying in taverns. These are places that sell alcohol, and children under the age of 18 are not allowed to purchase alcohol in South Africa. So we would like the enforcement to be bolstered. But further to that, we would also like to see legislation strengthened. So we want the Liquor Amendment Bill of 2016 to be passed. This bill will essentially mean that there will be no advertising of alcohol except at point of sale, a lot like with tobacco. It would also mean that the drinking age goes up from 18 to 21. So these are some of the things that we would like to see happening, and we hope and we wait with anticipation for the State of the Nation address, where we hope we will hear government taking decisive action to reduce alcohol harm by strengthening legislation and also bolstering enforcement.
I think it's the enforcement issue which I think so many people are probably more interested in, Terri-Liza. I don't think many people will argue about maybe increasing the alcohol limit, but even if it is increased to 21, what you're going to have is 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds drinking illegally. So some are suggesting it's not the age limit that's the problem, it's the enforcement. Should it be a police issue? Should it be a local government issue? Whose problem is that, do you think, to enforce that? But clearly it's not being done.
So, following the NGO tragedy, we've actually lodged a formal complaint with the Human Rights Commission to look into exactly that. Where are the gaps? Who has failed? Who can be held accountable? Because we do know that with NGO in particular, the community has stated that they reported the underage drinking that was happening at the tavern. We do also know that with the case of NGO, there were bylaws relating to renovations, etc., that were flouted. So we have actually asked the Human Rights Commission to look into exactly that. Who can be held accountable and where does the buck stop? We do believe that it is the authorities and it is government that has the task of ensuring that they keep South Africans safe and that they tackle this issue of underage drinking.
So we could see, for example, then more tavern owners and barkeeps and waiters, whoever might be involved in selling underage alcohol, actually facing stiffer sentences versus maybe getting a license taken away. They could end up in jail. Would that be what you're looking for?
So in both of the tavern death incidents in the Eastern Cape, we do see the tavern owners facing legal charges, but we don't believe that this is sufficient. We do believe that government needs to introspect and really look at what the shortcomings are with regards to authorities. And we need a holistic approach really to tackle this issue of alcohol harm. It is the enforcement, it is introducing a new legislation, it is enforcing existing legislation, but it is also government working together, in a practical way and ensuring that they are on the same page with reducing alcohol harm. We've seen, for example, that while the Transport Minister on the one hand pushed for a zero alcohol blood limit when driving, the Minister of Education has then introduced the Basic Education Amendment Laws bill, which actually proposes that alcohol can be allowed in schools. So they need to be on the same page and they need to get serious about coordinating their efforts to reduce alcohol harm as well.
Yeah, it's about the mixed messaging at the moment, which is also a bit confusing to follow. But I appreciate the clarity, Terri-Liza, and you're quite right. Waiting to hear from the State of the Nation address as well. What is government actually going to do about this? My thanks to it's Terri-Liza Fortein, Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance, NSA. She is their communications manager.